Hey, what's up? I'm Adam. If you're new here and if you're returning, then what's good? Today I want to talk about finding balance in life. I mean, so many of us are juggling so much, right? Like 9 to 5, our creative pursuits, the gym, our relationships. And it can be quite difficult to find a setup that works for all of this. And I recently uploaded a vlog where there's quite a few things I was doing, like my usual gym sessions, my 9 to 5. I recently started painting and taking up that. And I had a comment that was basically like, how do you find the balance between all these things? I'll leave the exact comment here. And so in this video, I kind of want to talk about some of the things that I think have helped me find somewhat of a balance in life, right? But understanding that things are always in flux is really important. And I think I'd like to preface this video by saying that because we change so much, what we even want our lives to be filled with, who we want them to be filled with. And then obviously the environment itself is changing and its demands of us. So understanding that, and that it's always kind of like a work in progress, if you'd like this is one thing where the journey, you can't just skip the journey bit and be like, oh, found balance now. Everything's great. Like, it's always changing, and I guess that's part of the fun. So my first tip is to consider where you're already spending your most precious resource, which is time. So often we say things like, oh, I don't have the time to do this. Like, I'd really love to pursue this new thing like painting or, like photography, but I don't have the time, or I'd really like to go to the gym. That kind of scarcity mindset does not set us up for prosperity or, to explore our lives more. So considering though where you already are expending, that time, your resource, and then working out what needs to reshuffle for you to find the balance that you are looking for. And just a few examples like I can pull from my life or the people I know is, if you spend an hour when you wake up scrolling through Instagram and Twitter, all these things, that's an hour of time you could be at the gym. So this idea that do you not have time for the gym, or are you just using that valuable time with something that may not be yielding as greater results or return for you? Another example is, if you want to start something creative like painting or like making videos or your own Instagram account where you are, whatever it is, or even a business venture, do you not have time, or is it because you are spending hours watching Netflix series or Amazon Prime series? That is one thing that I have removed from my life. I was never a super big fan of those things anyway, but I see how easy it is to just slip into watching one series and then watching the next, and you're on this consistent search for the next thing, and suddenly you've spent a whole Saturday or Sunday or the whole weekend watching these things, and you haven't done anything that was potentially on your list or that you wanted to explore that was new. So instead of thinking about it as, I don't have time for this, it's what needs to reshuffle, or what do I need to take out so that I can add this thing or have more time for this thing. My next tip is to have a list of no more than really 3 things that you want to achieve each day. This is kind of how I've been operating, and I've gone through different models of, time and organizing my time. But right now where I am, this works really well for me. When I was at university and I had like classes and then my part-time job, more like time blocking worked for me. But having 3 things I know I need to achieve. The first thing is gym. I know that I need to go to gym at some point that day and train. The second thing is my 9 to 5. I guess that's kind of blocked out because as it would suggest, but I know that's got to get done. And I know that I want to say record a video, or I know I say I want to go out for dinner with my partner, or I want whatever it is. I have my list of things, or painting, as I've more recently started doing. And knowing that that's what you need to get done, then you can be more flexible about your day. So sometimes I didn't get a great night's sleep, and waking up to go to the gym that morning probably wouldn't be the most effective thing to do, getting up early. But I know that that's on my list of things to do. So I often will go at lunchtime and, do a shoulder workout or a back workout in an hour I have in my lunch. It's still getting ticked off, but I've left room for flexibility if things don't go right. I know I've still got to do my 9 to 5, that gets done, and then my painting will get done, or whatever it is. So this model I think works for me, and I think you should give it a go, basically. Just write 3 things that you want to get done that day. Don't worry so much about all the little nitty bits that are in between that. Like, you don't have to list, okay, then I will have lunch and then I will eat this. Because I think that can sometimes bog you down a bit and you're like, oh, I've missed it. Damn, I'm 4 minutes off that task. It's over. So yes. So my next tip, and it kind of leads on from that, is you need to consider the time that is going to be allocated to relationships and investing in your relationships. I know a lot of the time we make these kind of grand plans, but they be our creative pursuits, financial pursuits, whatever it is. And you haven't built in relationships into that kind of plan. And then when they start to kind of fall apart or they don't flourish in the way that you want, it's because they weren't really a priority. And given that relationships are so fundamental to life, in fulfillment and just so much, they really have to be a part of finding balance, whether it be with your partner, whether it be with your friends, your family, whoever it is. Really consider how those relationships need to be nourished in the whole balance of all these things you have to do. And it may mean that you set out time, this whole evening and afternoon, that is what that is for. All right, on Saturday and Sunday, I spend time with, or on Sunday afternoon, I go to my mum's maybe, and we have some dinner every second Sunday or something like that. It's basically making sure that relationships aren't neglected. My next tip is sometimes you're gonna have to say no, and it's going to potentially be uncomfortable, or feel that niggly feeling like, oh, I didn't want to say no to that, but we can't do everything, right? We just can't. Like I've said, we only have a finite amount of time. And if you know this thing that somebody's pulling you towards or something's pulling you towards is not part of the balance you're trying to create, then you've got to say no. And I've definitely been in situations where I've been like, I really care about this person, but right now I don't want to go out. Like sometimes it's just that, like I'd much rather stay at home this afternoon and paint. And that's what I feel like my body is calling me to do, like my mind, and I feel like it will bring me ease versus maybe going out. And so sometimes you have to say no. And so long as I think it's polite and, thoughtful, most people, if they know you, know that you're not going to be malicious or anything like that. And so sometimes you've got to say no to things and people. My final tip is, if you are going to use an organization system, find one that works for you. You don't have to use Notion just because everyone's using Notion, or you don't have to use Google Calendar, whatever it is. Find what works for you. I like Notion for some things and not for others. I still write in a physical diary when I'm jotting down those 3 things I have to get done that day or that I'd like to get done that day. I really love that, and like my little habit tracker in the corner. There's something really fulfilling for that for me. And don't be afraid to use a plethora of tools to get what you need to get done. And throw away the things that aren't working for you and bring in new things that are. And your setup might look different to mine, and it might look different to another YouTuber or your best friend or, whoever it is. So that's it. I just thought I'd come here and share that because I know we're always just trying to find things that can work for us and make our lives that much more enjoyable and fulfilled and nourished, and just like it's going in the right direction pretty much. So I hope that was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.